Hey guys, so I'm here today with Tom Myers, Regional Manager of Carpenter Realty in Indianapolis, Indiana. So Tom doesn't sell real estate, but you manage real estate agents, manage a very large office, a lot of agents, and do a lot of recruiting.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about today was just, you shared with me some of your recruiting tools and techniques, and I thought they were very, very unique. So I really appreciate you spending a little time with us and just want to ask you about it. So,
Great.
So initially, you told me that you go out and you set an appointment for a potential agent, and then you have a very unique interviewing style.
Well, actually, I have to give the credit where credit is due. I'm actually using a lot of what I've learned from Neil Schwartz as far as the interview is concerned. But where I think it's particularly of interest to you and other brokers is that I use what Arch provides as the basis for my business planning session with a potential recruit. And it's shocking how many of them have no idea of what you provide, Steve, but also how easy it is for them to get that information, and then also the kind of business they can build based off of what you're providing to them.
So you provide all your agents in the office with access to the tools, right? So
to your tools, absolutely. And I think we've been doing that, gosh, I don't know how many years.
I really appreciate it. So I know you provide them with for sale by owners and expired listings. So tell me a little bit about that. To most of these agents, have they ever called for sale by owners or expired listings before?
It's interesting because part of the recruiting process, Steve, is I ask them, how many for sale by owners did you list and how many of those sold in the last year? Because we're using that as a starting point for building their business. I ask them the same thing about expireds, and then also for just listed and just sold. And it's shocking the number of them who say, well, yeah, I have tried making some of those calls, but it takes so much time to get all that information, because they're thinking they have to go into the MLS, pull off the expireds, then do a tax search, and finally hope that they find a working phone number by going to white pages or something like that. So when I show them the list that you email me every day, it blows them away.
Yeah, it just makes it super simple for them, right?
Absolutely.
So you can focus on having them learn their scripts and their objection handling and working on their mindset versus doing the busy work of finding how to contact these people.
Absolutely.
And I know you were one of my first adopters of doing the likely to list predictive analytics on the neighborhood. So tell me a little about that. I know you have I think you invite guys to come into the office and you help them out and train them and show them how to use it.
Several years ago, we built out a call center in one of our offices. And so I'll have agents in there working with me several times a month. And then I also work with the agents every Wednesday morning by Zoom from their own locations. But probably the most interesting success story for you that I can share is that I had one agent, he's pretty skilled with the scripts, came in and we were doing likely to list calls. He contacted, in the first 4 people that he contacted, Steve, 3 of those were already scheduled to meet with a competing agent. And he ended up getting appointments with 2 of them. He ended up listing those properties and they sold.
Well, that's the standard, that's the mean. So 4 calls, 3 listing appointments is how we work. It's how we do it. But that's great that he had such a great experience. And I think that also just reinforces the mindset to prospect, right? So you're getting immediate feedback, you're willing to keep doing it, and it makes it worthwhile, right? Where you can see people quit prospecting when they have bad numbers or they have a bunch of non-interested people.
The bad numbers is one thing. Not just bad numbers, but also nobody's answering is a continual thing that we hear before they start using the system. Once they start using the system and using the dialer in particular, we find we're able to get them up to 9 to 11 contacts an hour, and that's where it really starts to pay for them.
Yeah, I hear a lot of your clients getting that, which is sometimes you'll talk to some agents and they're getting 1 contact an hour, and that just makes it really, really frustrating.
I wouldn't want to do it if I was only getting 1 an hour either.
Absolutely. So Tom, prior to you putting Arch into your office, what were you providing for agents, if anything, for them to do for prospecting?
Boy, that's a great question, Steve. Prior to Arch, I mean, we were suggesting that they make the call to the for sale by owners. We were suggesting that they make the call to the expireds. And of course, at that point, we were probably talking more about calling or door knocking even around just listed and just sold. In our market area, we have pretty cold winters, and we also have pretty darn hot summers. And so the door knocking wasn't a popular activity. And then with the number of people who no longer stay at home during the day, there are households where both husband and wife or partners are living in a way that they both work. The number of people who actually answered the door was really low. So that activity per hour wasn't as productive as we would hope. I find that with the agents who I am recruiting from other firms at this point, who don't have access to your system or knowledge of your system, they're still going through those same trials and tribulations. So when I present to them what they can do using your system in our environment, I got to be honest with you, it's probably my best recruiting tool.
Well, I'm very happy that we can help you out, and you've been such a great supporter and a great friend. I thank you so much for sharing your expertise with our group, and let's keep it on, keep going.
One last thing I will say on Steve's behalf is that when we have a challenge, and the challenges are usually created by myself and my people, but when we have a challenge, I can email Steve, even though we're 2 hours ahead of him a lot of times, and the response time and him getting back to me and answering a question is unbelievable. So that's one of the key reasons we stick with Steve as opposed to others, frankly, is the response time is just like great.
Well,
so thank you.
Thank you.